Oronde Gadsden always joins me and Crowder out here.
Crowder and I.
Today, no, it's joins me, not joins I.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is joins me and Crowder out here.
All right.
Listen,
Put yourself first. When you put yourself first, you can say me.
Okay.
Oronde Gadsden, of course.
Me and Crowder.
He's been through some disappointing losses in his career. He's been through big wins.
I have.
Listen, it's all part of the game. So here's the main question coming out of yesterday's game.
Right.
Did we learn something about the Miami Dolphins? Did we learn that maybe this narrative that was starting to percolate last week about them not being able to play with elite teams might be true? Or was it just kind of a confluence of bad officiating, injuries, and playing a really good team on the road? Like, what did we learn anything major about this Dolphins team?
I don't think so. I think we all knew the deficiencies we had, and they were magnified because you're playing a good team. You know what I mean? If you don't have a good O line and they got a better D line, well, you're in trouble. You can't run the ball. The play action don't work as well. You know what I mean?
That was very apparent.
Have your starting two corners, the other wide receiver's gonna win. So I don't think it was a big deal. I mean, we did fight. It was 17-17 at one point, but like I said, for me, the biggest takeaway is, and I've seen it now, probably from last season to this season, is I think Magic Mike needs a plan B, game plan B. Like, the teams that we have lost to have not been fazed by the eye candy. Mm-hmm. When the motion, the switching, formations, they don't care about that. The teams we beat, they shift, they move, they point, they talking, and we get, open looks. But the teams with good defenses who does not care about the eye candy that he gives, we don't do as well. And so we have to change it up. When you get 8 carries for -3 yards, we got to find a way to run the ball. And we did. The toss is not going to work. They got, Nolan Smith on the end running 4.39, and toss is not going to work. We got to be able to run right here, power. You got to run dive. We got to get some yards. And so, they were just a better team last night. That was it. I don't want to go into it was 50 degrees, not toasty and 90, but, we got some work to do. We knew that. And, playing a good team always helps. And, good thing about football is you got a game next week.
And OG, we piled up in the same screen as they watch it on.
Right.
We watch this at.
Right, that's a faux pas.
Where do we watch this at?
A lot of human in this little screen we have.
Right.
Whammy Channel 69.
But you brought up 2 points that I thought of as well. Cater Kohu and Eli Apple being your number 1 and number 2 corners. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown are better at their job than those 2 guys. And they gave a valiant effort. They both made some plays, but you saw late A.J. Brown, he was a player of the game.
Right.
He got off. The point, and I think we can address that with Xavier and Jalen coming back.
Right.
But the point that I saw in that game that worries me is the offensive line versus a very physical, violent, first-round latent defensive line, just like Buffalo had Ed Oliver and Rousseau from UM and those guys.
Right.
The Eagles had Jalen Carter. The Eagles had who we make look Hassan Reddick. We made him look like Lawrence Taylor, but they had dogs up there.
A lot of people though.
Brandon Graham is 114 years old. He was making plays in the front. Yeah. Is that? And I've been telling people, talking to people, I think our Achilles heel is playing a physical defensive line.
Right. Well, we won't fix that by next week. We could fix it, in the weeks to come. And some people got to get healthy. We don't have that. That's not a starting 5, offensive line that we usually have. So that could be addressed. It's just that we got to figure something else out, though. Like, we saw Chase Claypool, get a few motions. We got to figure something else out because, earlier we did see Durham Smythe catch a few passes. He didn't catch any. We got to figure something out. Like, I like the, obviously the offense, our bread and butter. is what we use. But sometimes we got to go and, line up wide and straight run a comeback, just straight 15-yard comeback and throw it. Like everybody can't go in motion, get a running start and run a, dig or, somebody has to do that. Like, football at the end of the day is going to come down to we got to tackle, who can run, who can tackle, who can create turnovers. And we didn't do a good job of those big three yesterday. And so, like I said, I think, we all know as, football players, it's a different dynamic, under 60 degrees. It's a different dynamic. Tyreek Hill's not as fast. And, when it's 30 degrees, the ball is a little thicker and heavier. Those things come into play, especially when you get to January and have to go to, say a Baltimore or have to go to Kansas City to play a playoff game. Those things are going to have to be addressed. But, you can't take a knife to a gunfight, and we don't have all the bullets. We don't have what we need. Starting left tackle out, 2 corners out.
Center.
Yeah, center.
That's a big deal.
Yeah,
Connor Williams is a big deal.
Connor Williams is probably the O-line MVP, right? So he's out. A-Chain's out. So we got a lot of, there's a lot of things that go wrong. But I do think we have, and it came to a point a few times where I did want to see Tua run some. Like
he does not. It's off the table. It is off the
table, bro.
I look every week at his over/under on rushing because you think at some point, like yesterday, I bet Baker Mayfield in the Tampa game over. I think it was 10.5 yards rushing, and he breaks one for like 30 yards at the end because just stuff breaks down and somebody takes off. Tua will not. It has been put out of his repertoire. His over/under was 4 yards yesterday, and you should bet the under on him every single game because he will hit the turf. Period. End of story.
Like, 3rd and 3 or 4. Like, you have an option to get those 3 yards when everybody's back and turning you in here just, patting the ball. Like, take off, bro, and get the first down. And he's just not doing it. Like you say, that's off the table. And that, we need those every once in a while. Like when you playing somebody tough who defense biting, Reddick already upfield, so just keep him out there. There's a lane right there. Everybody chasing the receivers. Like, you got to get that. And so,
I would say to both of y'all, though, he's been getting hit, and the whole question about his career is durability. So if I was his quarterback coach, I would tell him, don't let anybody else touch you. And when you take off and
slide,
when you tuck that ball, OG, you're a running back.
Right. It's obviously been told to him, though. Like, it's been told because he hits the deck. I'm just saying that it's, when he says Tua needs to scramble every now and then. I had that moment a couple times, too, where I'm like, just run because
it's right here to the table, right there, Josh. Right there.
Is not
you got to get the first down is where Josh
is not going to do it.
And y'all point though,
make that.
You look at the top quarterbacks.
Slide.
That Dallas Charger game I went to, both of those quarterbacks, they're not Cam Newton, but they'll go get a first down. We saw Jalen Hurt do it yesterday. He'll go get him a first down.
And he slid before anybody was even close. Just pass the yellow line on the field and get down.
Slide.
Yeah.
But Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, them older school quarterbacks never even tried to run. They throw the ball away, they get down.
Talking about some other people.
Was Troy, when you played with Troy, was Troy Aikman taking off for a first down?
Bro, you want me to name the linemen they had? The 5 old linemen they had? I know them all personally.
He can sit in the chair.
Yeah, they didn't have Eichenberg, wasn't one of them. I can tell you that.
Well, which loss bothers you more, the Buffalo loss or the Eagles loss last night?
Buffalo.
Because they just got steamrolled.
Buffalo.
They were in it last night. They had some opportunities.
It was 17-17.
Yeah.
And we didn't have our 2 corners. We didn't have one of them, in the Buffalo game. And, I think if we had made X travel with Diggs, it could have been a little better. But Buffalo is and, obviously – that defense we saw won't be the same defense we see the second time because they got some injuries, right? Milano, who was a gangster.
Yep.
He won't be there. White won't be at corner. So it'll be a little different. But the Buffalo loss, because they see it. They know it. You know what I mean? They're not scared of the window dressing, the Tyreek Hill running motion, run on the wheel. They're not afraid of that.
And It's funny you said earlier. You talking about Mike McDaniel having that adjustment,
right?
Turn that play sheet over and have a second option in case they got us.
Right, they got
Where in that Buffalo game it seemed the same. We're like, these are our plays,
and that's what I'm telling you. We got it. We did the same thing last year. In the losses we had last year, like when we went to, the Chargers and we went to San Francisco, I think we just do it more. Like the games we won, like the Ravens game, when we just did it more.
Mm-hmm.
We just did the same plays more. Like we didn't change it. We did them more. Like the San Diego, the LA Chargers, the first game, we just did it more. We just scored more points, right? But when it's 17-17, like they know it, we know it. You got to find something else, man.
Can you see it?
Don't we got a full? Yeah, I can see it.
Because I can see defensively,
Yeah.
I can see when they get aggressive or they get conservative.
Yeah.
Offensively, you can see when the game plan doesn't.
Yeah. They run different. You can see when they toss that ball to Mostert, he just look like he was running the plays. Like, no, man, hit it. And then the other one, when he hits because they know like we got to switch it up. Like he knows they out there.
Mm-hmm.
Nolan Smith running the 4.39 at the end. The toss not gonna work. It's just not.
So they've got New England coming up Sunday. They're 12-point favorites, by the way. Dolphins are 12-point favorites. Yeah.
Ooh.
So New England beats Buffalo, and again, you could take that for what it's worth. Maybe it's a statement about writing off Bill Belichick. Maybe it's just a statement on Buffalo not being elite. I don't know.
Right.
But then after that, you've got Kansas City.
Right.
That's the game in Germany. So tell me how you see the next 2 weeks playing out for the Dolphins. Do you think the Patriots are any problem for them whatsoever?
Of course.
And do you think that they can get past Kansas City? Or
Taylor Swift going?
Are we going to – maybe. I don't know where her tour takes her. Are we going to start feeding this narrative? Because you can't ignore the numbers. The 5 wins the Dolphins have, none of them are against a team that has more than 2 wins.
8-25.
And the 2 losses are to good teams, Buffalo and Philadelphia. Does the narrative get fed the next 2 weeks against New England and then against Kansas City?
Once again, I mean, we can look into it and say it that way, but, some people have to come back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, some people got to come back. Like, it's starting 2 corners just can't be out. Like, it just can't. Like, they don't have a number one. Neither one of them really have. I mean, Kelsey is the one for Kansas City, but neither team has a one. Like, Devontae Parker the one, Warren the one. We should be fine.
Yeah,
but
lowercase one.
They have that. They have that.
A little one.
New math. New math.
Yeah. They are lowercase one, like a little one. Yeah. I mean, we could get by. I think the Germany game just throws everything off
because it's overseas.
It's overseas. You got to go on the face on that one. I mean, Kansas City just better. Like, you don't have no home.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So is the narrative going to get fed the next 2 weeks? They're going to beat up on New England, a pretty bad team, and then they're going to lose to a really good team in Kansas City.
But that's what I'm telling you. Beat up how? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't have a left tackle or starting 2 cornerback or starting center. That's bad. That's bad.
I mean, it's part of the game. Everyone deals with injuries.
And I know, but I'm just saying those spots are like crucial. Left tackle. Who's starting at left tackle?
Lamb.
Right. Exactly. You see what I mean?
It's like Abbott and Costello. Everything goes like, who's starting at left? Lamb. Right. Huh? I got confused there for a second.
That's what we're doing. We're doing. I'm Cisco Ebert.
We piled up into the TV.
Right.
A lot of man in the TV right now.
He's Bo. I'm Luke. We come on over here.
Just do the whole show. One little box. Tree, come on over here. And
come on, Tree. Come on. Get everybody
in our TV box.
Yeah, a little box.
Everybody be together.
Yeah. We like,
there we go.
What happened?
What happened?
Oh, he's messing up now.
Solana got rid of our TV box.
Oh, yeah.
Solana's first day on the job. Look at us.
I'm a looker.
Yeah. Oh, man. You don't look like you look on the the CW.
All right, everybody, hands in.
Ready?
And Twin Peaks on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Twin Peaks.
Break.
Yeah.
All right.
Kind of breakdown was that? He can't let him be the leader.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Twin Peaks on 3? Twin Peaks on 3? I thought that was,
he got to watch some YouTube tutorials on how to break it down.
So, Detroit, maybe we learned a little bit something about them.
They laid an egg.
Because they laid an egg for real. I just wonder at what point, because we've had these narratives going into this weekend, did we learn that Detroit cannot hang with the big boys? Did we learn that the Dolphins can't? What did we learn about different teams in the NFL?
You learn the same thing, It's 17 games. This is a long season. Like, people get hurt, people come back. I mean, they don't have their starting running back. It's things that, go into that. Like, you can't really, like, we even asked, did Odell Beckham even play? And he had 4 catches for 50 yards. But, he's not making a big difference, but you got to have all your bullets. You can't really.
I think a lot of people thought Lamar Jackson
took the money,
fading off. But I think after yesterday, you go, wait a second, maybe we learned a little bit about him. Like I said, maybe we learned about Bill Belichick, where you don't write him off. Maybe Mac Jones. I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. We knew that. We knew not to write Bill Belichick.
I did. I've been doing this for 10 years.
What? Yeah, no, there's gonna be some games where he just is gonna, out scheme you, and that's what I'm saying. Like, Buffalo, kind of the same thing. Like, they don't really have a plan B. Josh Allen got to make the plays. He got to throw the dig somehow, whether he run around and throw the dig. That's why I can't understand how Kansas City's doing it. Like, y'all gonna continue to play zone on Kelsey? Like, nah, you got to have somebody in his face at all times, whether he complete the pass or not. But him just running in the middle and shutting down, and he just throwing to him 12 times in the first quarter. Like, come on, people. Like, let's work. You know what I mean? Like, I just, I think the biggest thing for us and teams, like us in that situation is you're gonna have to make some adjustments, and whoever makes the best adjustments wins. Dallas the same thing. Like, bro, that little offense y'all playing with, that ain't work. That's not gonna beat the team, to get in the second round of playoffs.
Like, you'll rack up some dubs during the regular season.
Dubs just because you better than them. Like, you're gonna beat what they beat New England by like 30. But you go to San Francisco, that little pea shooter offense you got, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Michael Gallup not gonna have 125 yards. Wow. I mean, he can have it against, whoever they play, like, the Chargers or something. But having it against the Eagles in December, no, sir. Not gonna happen.
OG, when do you know what your team is? Because I'm with you right now. We saw even last week the Browns beat the 49ers. Like, I think this time of year is when you start settling in and things,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And we start getting those surprises. But at some point in the season, you see them late November, December games where the dogs going to be dogs,
right,
and the puppies are going to be puppies, right, sooner or later.
And with game 10. Game 10 is when, you get the butter from the duck.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I tell you a duck can pull a truck, hook them up. Game 10 is when that happens.
I said, what?
What?
If a duck can pull a truck.
If you say
a duck can pull a truck, hook them up.
To what?
To the truck.
To the truck.
What kind of duck is going to be able to pull a truck?
Trust.
OG said he could pull it.
Is that like a down south statement?
Yeah.
If a duck can pull a truck, hook them up.
Hook them up.
Yeah.
So game 10 is when you know whether the duck can pull a truck.
Reminds me of our Mount Rushmore of duck.
I get it. You never heard it.
But a duck pulling a truck is unheard of.
Right. But if I tell you can do it, I've seen him do it before.
You want to see it? That's what he does.
I've seen him do it before. That's what I'm saying. But listen.
Oh, I get it. But usually that kind of phrase would mean like, this happens rarely. So if you see it happening, make it happen. But I don't even think 1,000,000 times, 1 out of 1,000,000, that a duck would. Seems a little off to me.
No,
OG said it. He's seen it happen.
I've seen it.
Hook him up.
Hook him up. I didn't say what kind of truck. I just said hook them up. You know what I'm saying? Hook 'em up. Like
get the butter out the duck. You know what that means? Get the
That
butter out
I
the duck.
understand.
Yeah.
If I say a duck and pull a truck, hook them up.
So who's the duck in the scenario?
We gotta see
Who's the truck?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like if somebody.
What are you trying to tell me?
Like just take for instance, all the Cowboy fans, like they go in the Super Bowl, right? And all the naysayers gonna say with Dak Prescott and Jerry Jones telling you hook him up.
So he thinks he's Duck Prescott,
right? Instead of Dak.
How about that?
How about that?
Prescott, no one's seen the Prescott duck pull a truck, so you shouldn't hook him up.
Right, because you've never seen that duck pull a truck.
Exactly. Right. So if I tell you to hook him up.
So those naysayers say on Lamar Jackson,
right?
If you see the duck pull a truck, hook him up, and we saw him pull a truck.
Right. So no matter how bad Belichick is, we've seen him pull a truck before.
That's a strong ass duck.
That's a strong ass duck.
Well, I think we've clarified a lot of stuff here at the end of the program today. The end of the segment.
All right.
I think we have all learned a lot.
Right. We got.
Ma'am, can I get one duck pate? In the mood for a little duck pate.
Little duck.
All right. Oronde Gadsden. Thank you, OG.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And we out of the
I was going to try to outkind him the way that you always talk about in your trip to Africa. I was going to outkind. No, thank you. No, thank you.
You been to Africa?
Yeah.
You'll never say thank you last.
That's their job.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Look at you, looking good. You look better.
I love your hair. You look.
All right. We're at Twin Peaks and Davie. We'll take a break. We'll come back with more Hockman and Crowder.